Who made that?
I mean, the one and only. Humble plug.
All right.
Welcome back, episode
Shameless.
3, Sit and Spin.
Humble plug. I like
We're doing
that.
it. Humble plug. Yeah. It was,
Very relevant.
I would know what to plug you if you ever gave me your SoundCloud.
I can. It's Dantune-1 or whatever. I don't know.
There it is. There's where the beats are coming from.
It'll probably lead to another account, and then
place.
that person will get famous.
Yeah. But welcome back, Sit and Spin, episode 3. We're doing it. Trying to keep it semi-consistent here. Trying to keep it, fun. Jump around the genres. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. So today we're going to do classic, instant classic. Just, here it is. Classic. There you go.
Highly anticipated, labeled an instant classic by
fourth
everybody.
album, Kendrick Lamar's Damn.
Damn.
I would wear my shirt. I have a shirt that says Damn, but I'm obese. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing the big old jersey. Yeah, the shirt itself, just not very comfy that came with it, but I did. We've got here the Damn came out June 2017 for the record. It's a 180 gram record here, coming on a red opaque wax. So yeah, this is the fourth album by him.
Turbulent Times.
Yeah, in 2017.
When it was released.
It's about a week before Easter that came out. If anybody
nothing
knows
compared
when
to
Easter is,
Yeah, what it is now.
Yeah, but that could be a mark.
It's good.
For you. Definitely great. Heard it. I mean, 100 times. I mean, when it came out in that summer, everywhere.
Yeah,
it was like, here's a single, and then here's another single, and then here's another single. I think he had 4, maybe 5 singles off the album that were just like airplay singles, radio singles,
which is part of what I wrote down. Wanted to point out that a lot of them are. It's the perfect mix of messages and mainstream appeal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's perfect.
So,
DNA, humble, things like that.
Trying to build some structure to the show we got here. Kind of listen to the record, enjoy it, dig into the
with your third eye open,
physical version of the record. Yeah, keep that third eye
when
open.
you for the show. When I listen to it, at least.
Of course. But then we listen to the record. We kind of write down what we're thinking, what we're feeling, how it's going. Everybody I feel like hears and experiences music extremely differently. Then we just kind of have a story and figure out what goes with it.
Things that people think about when they listen to the songs. The point of the song, right? He wants you to think about these messages and things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's just something that we listen to, we write down, and then we try to share with y'all.
We'll bring some of them thoughts out of the books here, and then see if we can bring some more technical, factual information, and not just opinions all the time about some of this stuff into it. I can say personally, listen to it 2017. It's a jam. It's a bop. 2018. I mean, I've got a few good memories listening to the record, with friends and stuff already. But then listen to it today, definitely feels different.
It carries a lot more weight.
Accurate. Yeah, obviously, yeah. So, definitely not, a big preachy podcast, but we're definitely well aware of what's going on outside of these walls. So, figured, why don't we do a record that's more or less relevant? It's instantly timeless. It's crazy that some of these songs could have been written yesterday, with the way that they're worded, the way that they're phrased,
and would be even more relevant.
And even more relevant if you've been paying attention.
You wouldn't be able to tell if you told somebody this album came out yesterday.
Yeah, they'd be like,
they would have no evidence. To say otherwise.
You'd be like, oh, actually, this was out in 2017, and what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Probably, maybe it's a good it's a nod to me. We've been stuck in time since.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
maybe a year earlier.
Stuck in time. Yeah, this is
certain 4-year period.
I agree. Music is a great way to journal that. Like that was before we did this episode. Me and you threw around a few albums. Like, what should we do? Should we do like this one came up? System of a Down came up. We talked about that. I love System of a Down. Listen to that, but as a kid, it was yeah.
Right.
But now I'm like, oh yeah, it was a little more, little heavier than that. Rage Against the Machine, obviously. Talked about Run the Jewels. Should we do that? Mm-hmm. Tons of good music to talk about. We did RX Bandits, which we kind of started the show with. But hey, we're on the right tone. We're still on that tone, but we're coming at it different. Instead of the Southern California RX Bandits, we're a little more Northern California.
The Compton.
TDE Straight Outta Compton, another Straight Outta Compton.
That's right.
But yeah, classic album. Let's see some of the things we had written down here. Oh, just opening this album, the strings. I just wanted to go. Oh, it was so Italian. It was just like, it was a Godfather 4 coming out. Just those strings are so deep, and they just came out so great. I don't know if you were hearing those, but I was just
I kind of I went all lyrics, I think, and lost. So just because the music I've heard so many times, just riding around, vibing out to it and stuff, whatever.
I could definitely admit it definitely takes me multiple listen throughs to even be like, oh, that's what's being said, and not that I can't understand it. It's just that I don't focus on the lyrics like crazy. Yeah. I know they're important. I know that's the message and all that, but sometimes I hear the lyric as a hook before I hear the lyric as what it's meant to be heard as. Like, the whole sentence. Oh shit, okay, bam, and that carries with this and carries that. So, and
once again, like the perfect message or the perfect mix of mainstream appeal and a true message, not one that
this felt
a fake message or written by somebody else.
Saying,
He's like the guy that like he went to Eminem's studio or whatever, and he was Kendrick put Kendrick in a room and was like, write this in 30 minutes or whatever. Like you got 45 minutes, write this, because he wants to know that. Exactly. I'm gonna proofread it with a red marker because he wants to know like it comes from him, and it's like That's why he caught so many eyes early on, and like obviously like the real Godfather of the West Coast, Dr. Dre, the executive produced the album, and
the real Dr. Father. Yeah.
That's right.
the
Doc Father.
But see, even when he does concept, Section 80 being concept album, it's not his
almost
own personal. Correct.
Kid,
but I know that one like 100% is like a story, but it's like fuck, and
something
based
that
on factoids and stuff like that. Yeah. So this one I feel like is a little more truer because each track expresses an emotion more or less. It's a little bit. Goes off. That
he said in interviews, it's all like if you look at the song titles, it's all his emotions.
Oh yeah.
And each song is just expressing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it obviously is tied in with the Bible and stuff like that, which I'm not going to claim to know about. I know you know about it way more than I do.
I've got some knowledge. I was brought up in a biblical sense, so definitely it doesn't.
When they're dropping things like Deuteronomy and stuff like that, like, I don't know what that is.
I'll be like, well, this is going on. Yeah, I'm not going to whip out verses and all that, but I definitely know the big stories,
The first, what's the first one?
DNA.
The first one is DNA.
I mean, you can hear the pride. Like that's like you can hear the emotion in the rhythm in everything. It's so good. That's one of the great. There's only 2 tracks in here. I'll get to these later. That I feel like you could take the beats and just be like, whoosh, and I think that's kind of like a duality thing. It's deep. It's deep and it's deep and it's deep and it's deep. It's so good. But this one was just like off the top. The tempo changes were just so good. I love the DNA. I just felt like there's tons of pride. Didn't really write a ton about it. One of the things. Oh no, that's on the second track. Yeah, I started writing this differently. I'm getting unstructured already.
I agree with you. This is very angry. Very angry. This is one of the mainstream / message songs.
Oh, this is one that they're playing. Like
this is one. Yeah, DNA was definitely a single for sure. Okay. All over the radio, but it's like put it on a different beat or put it on like a backpacker beat or something like that, like a conscious rapper beat. Yeah. And it's like, it might be forgotten or whatever, but it's a perfect mix. Mike Will made it, produced this.
Oh, he's
and
all
like
over
when
the
the beat switch happens, that's when supposedly I didn't confirm this, so the song finished and Kendrick kept recording and rapping in the booth. So then Mike will produce that second half of it.
Beat switch. This is that song. See, this is where I fuck up. This is going to be something I need to get better at. But I can't. I'm like, oh yeah, the song DNA, and I can't hear it in my head sometimes, even though I don't. But as soon as you say yes, you're right. Yeah. That's
so he was like, he was feeling it so much, just the raw emotions.
The button was red, baby. He's like, I'm blowing the light. Here we go. He just keeps hitting him.
He's ready. He's ready.
He's almost than the beat. Yeah. And then Mike will build the beat around
produce like that second half beat switch that we know.
That's why that tempo goes
to be there. Yep, it's cool because what other song has real or like it's just the evidence is right there. Like man, he just went off so hard that
I think this is one of the songs where you can really hold it up and be like one thing like my dad's taste in music, definitely not hip hop, definitely nothing that's like electronic based. It has nothing to do with like his preference of like, you know, genre music or what they're saying or anything like that. It's just he goes, it comes out of a computer. I'm more of a guitar guy. I like the drums, you know, stuff like that. This is one of those things where it's like, even though it's electronic, it's Mike Will made it, you know, he's doing cuts and he's doing the beats and all that stuff. But when it comes to building that beat around his lyrics, the way that he's saying them, I mean, it's Kung Fu Kenny. I mean, you hear it's like
sharp cuts.
Oh,
like
you hear it. You hear
karate.
So it's just like
jab.
well, you wouldn't be doing that, you know, that way. So like, this is just one of those songs. Like, okay, I understand you may not think that the electronic thing you're making is just ones and zeros and beeps and boops. But
how could you not like respect like this man made the beat?
It's not only that, but it's like the story goes with it because I feel like that punches all those lyrics home. Like, I mean, Kenny's crazy, you know, freestyle crazy, goes off crazy, you know, it's coming in. But never enough props to the producers. But that's what I think gives them those punches. Yada 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 yada. Reminds me of Mac on Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, that one is good. Even if it's a radio song, you hear it every time. Like you said, the message of being black and proud. I'm not gonna, couldn't know anything about that, of course, but just hearing it, you can.
If there's a way to begin to understand, it could be with lyrics, with music. Yeah. But one of the things I thought was interesting is he points literally to the phrase saying he's not a politician, and that's why I think is so crazy is that like when it comes to protests and stuff like that, all the stuff that we reference to protest is never like a politician, you know. So, some people could say, Bernie walked with the protesters. Yeah, that guy was a protest, bro. You know, here's the history, all that kind of stuff. But like, it's the Martin Luther King speeches, the Gandhi this, the all the wise people. It's not like politician this, It's like usually that kind of stuff is like moving other things forward, but not so much what you were quoting as like a progressive values moving forward.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like who would you quote, it's like Killer Mike. Yeah. Kendrick Lamar.
The idea of a politician is
almost
not
like a secondary philosopher.
Yeah. You don't see a politician really anymore as like the upstanding figure that they were.
Man.
And you wouldn't line them up next to the YMCA with the police and the firefighters and stuff. Yeah.
We gotta do maybe it'd be a cartoon because it would be just too wild live action. Here we go. It would be like Congress and Senate and all that, but it's just instead of like how they do like a hip hop family tree. Everybody has like the different personas in the comic book that like, exemplified of their hip hop persona kind of thing. And now they're superheroes based on that. It would be a nation run by musicians based on like their band's like image and lyrics. So you're like, all right, we represent like, Detroit represents like this. Right. And then that would be,
that's how the representatives are counted. Yeah. I'm down for it.
That's maybe it's educational. Maybe it's not, which is a terrible goofy ass thing, but that would be because when you point to that kind of stuff, it's never who's on the ballot box.
Yeah, it's nobody. Unfortunately, it's not a politician, the person who has the power to change things. It's always somebody who has a voice, but doesn't really have the matter to do something.
So Kendrick, I mean, it oozes through this. Just the
was that on where he says that I'm not a politician or something?
I think it is
religion. He says I don't have a religion either, which is like. It's contradictory because that's what the album is about. Like he fights with it, like wanting to be this good, faithful person and religious and stuff, and then he just says, "I have no religion." So it's like, what is he trying to say? Is he?
So where do my values come from? If that's where you stem it from when you're judging me, come on now, like that can't be the end of it. So,
but that one has a couple of the other good one-liners. The Fox News line, about they use his image for percentage. Like they hate him. But they, you hate the guy so much, but you have no issue using his image to get more ratings.
Yep, it's very vicious, cyclical, self-poisoning thing
that's been beaten to death. It's like, come on now.
It is, it's something you feel the
exhaustion
just
one line to it. He's got more to talk about. The concept of that is like, it's sad, but it's been around forever. So, but he says a couple other things. Like he says he's an Israelite now. Which I don't. Once again, I don't know too much about that. Yeah, but like Israelite, like Israel versus Palestine.
Don't use that word.
Black is, because like Israel, this is huge. Like, we'll get people sent after us for this stuff. But like, it's like Israel versus Palestine. Like, I know,
just talk.
I'm Middle Eastern. Like, I know about this from my uncle, and like my uncle's really outspoken on it. You know, my cool hipster uncle. Yeah. Like, he has a stance on this, and his wife is Palestinian. So, but he had the stance before. But it's like Palestine supposedly, like Israel's the one who's like kicking them all out, and taking over the land, and they're like, "Fuck you! Like, this is ours." Yep. Religiously, we own it, and then they say no, it's ours. So it's weird. But like, they were there physically,
US, and they're using kind of backs Israel,
yeah, and like supposedly the Israel and all that stuff is not really like supposedly like Star Wars style.
I've read the papers.
Israel is like the empire, and then Palestine is like the rebellion, like they're they're like the resistance. So but so I don't know what he's getting at with that. I didn't look it up. Maybe I should have instead of just to ramble like an idiot. But yeah, there's something there about. But it's just a whole like he got famous, and he mentions his niece, and he says like his niece is worth living for. And he's just talking about like symbols like family and getting rich and.
Well, that he said his daughter's his muse now. Like that's what he uses as inspiration, which is crazy because he says my daughter's my muse, but Duckworth is Ducky, Carl Duckworth. That's the muse. I mean,
Carl? I don't know who Carl Duckworth is. He mentions him a couple times.
That's so at the end of the skit, he's the guy working Ducky.
In Duckworth, a song, you mean? Because I don't know if Carl Duckworth is his dad, or we'd have to.
Yes.
So Carl is his dad. Yeah, because I thought I thought his father was Kenny Duckworth.
Or is that what it is?
Maybe.
He says Carl a few times. See, I'm not buddies with him. I don't know. So I'm stitching it together based on the music for sure. That's probably all over genius. But someone will comment and tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. It's the fault. But from what I gather, I mean, like the voicemail, the whole like kind of biblical one on like the 8th or 9th track or whatever. That's Duckworth again. He talks about Ducky and the whole extra chicken, biscuits on the side, that, and he spared his life, that one opportunistic, fortunate moment of good.
His cousin.
Cousin. So I'm like, how is that not the muse, for this? I understand his daughter, but I'm like shitting on that as he's, got to say that, and that's what he's working for. That's his inspiration. But like, man,
and this is the one where he mentions Deuteronomy too, and then he mentions the line saved it about he can't resist getting like he keeps mentioning in the song about not being able to resist money and like sinning.
He has. So, there's such a struggle with mortality here. He's just like, I mean, geez, there's a one called God. I mean, that's the name of the track. So I mean, God, you think there's a mortality complex here? I mean, obviously.
And he's specifically mentioning
he's being raised up as a message bringer.
Yeah, saying like, he's mentioning all these like good things in his life, his daughter, his niece, and then also mentioning how he can't help but fall into the same like traps as everyone else like growing up around him, how he did, and now his kids are like kids are innocent, right? You see them and you're like, wow, there's nothing there.
As innocent as the environment.
It's like a reflection of like, wow, you look and like the way you grew up and stuff like that, and like so.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe just my interpretation.
There's
allegedly.
a lot in this that rings home to me. That's not like personal struggle or anything like that, but like I mean, the beat your ass till you beat your ass, gonna beat your ass until I beat your ass.
The triple X one, yeah.
I mean, come on. If your parents didn't lay
if your parents were authoritarian,
then you are too young to be listening to the show. That's about it. Yeah, turn it off and go to bed. After your bedtime. Yeah.
If you're not fighting back, you can't listen.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. So yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Now, the one thing, I didn't start numbering my tracks out here until I got to 4. I was like, I'm going to remember something. Element, I love that song. Not my favorite, but I love that song.
What? Not the favorite.
It's not my favorite. Yeah, it's not my favorite. I'll take my favorite. But
I love it. It keeps the motif going.
Yeah, it shows it's humorous. I mean, if you're going to do it, make it look sexy. Yeah. Come on. Make it look sexy.
Talks about...
That's a good motto.
He has a great line,
no matter what you're doing.
All his grandmas are dead. And nobody's praying for him. This is where like the ain't nobody praying for me thing starts.
Oh yeah, ain't nobody praying for me.
It's like the whole idea of like he is the voice of the people, and like he has so much to offer, and he gives so much people, he gives so much hope.
Yeah,
and he's praying for other people, literally and through
getting higher. So
yeah, but in return, who's praying for him? Yeah, it's another like that's like the Jesus thing. The one thing I know about.
Yeah,
a couple things I know about religion is like he was. That's the whole thing. Like, he's suffering, right? Like, he's suffering, and, like, you should be praying for that dude, even though you think he's someone so high and holy. like Kendrick is the voice of the West Coast and stuff.
Right,
but
that's
no,
what you
he's
hear
someone
about.
who still needs
Yeah.
that basic
people who
prayer,
are even
like, just
in the image held to that echelon of height, you know.
they're not even.
I mean, think about anybody. I mean, you can go from as drastic as Robin Williams or something like that, or you know, you've got Kanye, you got Kendrick. I mean, all these people who are the champs.
They're the ones who have
kings of their
literally
their lane. Yeah,
more demons.
of course. Yeah.
Troubled by
and
more,
who's,
so.
you know, it's lonelier at the top.
Money,
all those things,
all that stuff.
Money, obviously,
leading you to more temptation, more sin, all that stuff.
The thing that did make me laugh though on Element when he does the whole like. Yeah. That reminds me of Moonbase Alpha, dude. Mamma mia, papi.
But no, he says
it's so robotic, but I like that little sample, like
he just mentions this is a good like struggle song. He mentions he does it for where he comes from, not for Hollywood. He says he doesn't do it. He does it for Compton. He does it for the gram.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the gram. I do it for Compton.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't lose sight of like he's still this kid who grew up and all that stuff. He doesn't have like but if the chorus goes, if he has to fuck somebody up, he's gonna make it look sexy. Like what other way do you interpret that? Yeah. Besides like he's saying like he's made it. He's like he's got this like nice like Hollywood side, but he will still
do, like, the shoulder shake.
Yeah. He'll still make it look sexy.
But
like it's just he won't hesitate to do something that he grew up around, which is like something violent, and even though he's made it, and then supposedly
Element really bleeds into the next one too, because the next track is so lonely. It's so sad. Like the music on it is sad. It's a melancholy. Yeah.
And all of the most of the lines start with "I feel," so there's no mistaking that he's trying to express, saying this is how I feel, like literally.
Yeah, every single line on that one. Yeah, that one, it just felt like he was just like the way that the sound and the lyrics keep going. Instead of it being like I know there's a lot of in a lot of prayer there's repetition.
Yeah,
but
definitely, for sure.
This wasn't like a prayer. It was almost like a cry. Instead of hearing a prayer as repetition, you kind of hear those as escalating phrase, like, God, like that.
All emotions that build up on each other.
Every time I feel like I feel like every time I hit that, I just felt it hitting like this, like, a circle on the drain going down, like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's all something
it's just so spiraling, man.
And
like,
even though it's something that it can be specifically personal to his life, like it's something that everybody resonates with, which is, of course, the point that we're doing this, the point that I'm doing this, because like all these lyrics, they matter to me a lot, and it's like cheesy or whatever, but like it sticks out. I'll listen to this 50 times, and like every time he says I feel like this, I feel like that, it's like, wow, I feel like that too. So
I can feel a shade of that. I can feel a sliver of that. I mean, you're obviously expressing deeper things on here sometimes, Kendrick, especially whether it's literal or it's just in the
I mean, I wrote down if you hear this and don't feel something, you're a sociopath. That's my note.
Like that should be so many songs on here that we go over. But that's really the trueness in this. Like I can sit there and watch hours of Netflix. I can watch a TV show and this or that or whatever. But when it comes to music and literally sitting down specifically with the record, because I'm just like, put on the headphones, lay back, turn on the speaker as loud as I can. That's why I appreciate it. So it's like, if you this is a therapy in itself. To evoke emotion if you've never felt this and you listen to some of the ways that these things are crafted, it's unbelievable what a drug music is. He
busts out his alter ego here, I think, Kung Fu Kenny.
Ooh, yeah.
So when he goes to the high voice, like that's I would say, I don't know if it's not confirmed. If we have any fans, comment, please let us know. He likes to get Eminem thing. He's a big fan of Eminem, Lil Wayne, things like that. The multi-personality. Sure. So he's got Kendrick Lamar, and then he's got Kung Fu Kenny, which is like the
bunch of people
take no shit, like that's a higher voice, so he switches over to that halfway, and like that's when he really starts talking about just like, I mean, it's a lot of religious stuff that I don't know enough about, but he just like he is talking about like just there's a lot of like fear in this, like he talks about he feels like this, feels like he might lose it all, or he might this and that, and like it ties along with the whole like, because he said in an interview, when I was looking this up, he said like he wanted to show on this whole album the side of like the God that's like the fear. He said he wanted like the discipline, the obedience,
Because
I wouldn't be surprised if he has cutaway tracks that was like so it doesn't sound like a good song, but like things that like relate to like the fearful side of God, and it's like
on fear specifically, he goes in about just not only having fear of his mom as a child, which is can be translated to a respect, fear of God, fear of the system, fear of police, fear of walking around as a black man, fear of this, fear of that. Like he goes into all the fears on fear for sure, and it's just like, my God, if that's what you wake up to with, those are my fears to start the day, boy, there better be a lot of motherfucking wins to cancel out those fears. Yikes.
And once again, this is somebody who's like the leader of millions of people.
Top of the top of the top of the top. Yeah, he's one of the tops, man. Top dog entertainment.
Carrying a lot of weight. This next one I feel like is way more sad than Element. Or not Element, would you say? Feel? This one's really sad for me.
Is that 6 or 7? Isn't Loyalty 6? Are we on Loyalty?
Oh, see, because I skipped. That outed me. I didn't write anything on Loyalty.
You're not even.
Because it's just what do you think? What do you think?
Okay, Loyalty, again, not my favorite song, but it's one of the, favorites, because, I don't know, something about, I'm a sucker for a love song, because it's like,
for a gangster love song.
For almost any love song. I mean, corny ones can kind of go, fuck off, we get the corny ones. But when it comes to stuff like, gangster love, because it's a love from a shade, it's a love from an angle that, I don't know nothing about. But I can feel the tempo, the emotion, the evoking of emotion out of the lyrics, the depth of how it comes across. But then that's like, and in some of that, it's extremely relatable. Not every lyric that he's coming out with is like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But Loyalty, I think that's like a cornerstone. Not so much, loyalty, but I think that's like a hand in hand with honesty that builds such a relationship. So this one is like, this is what I think a lot of people long for, a lot of people search for. So it's like, I think it's a powerful song. Yeah, I think it's super popular. It gets overplayed.
Well, yeah, it's got the one tidbit. Of course, the producer in me wants to point out the sample in the beginning is just the reversed 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars.
You hit me with that tidbit earlier.
I love it. That's just 24 Karat Magic in the air. Just played in reverse. Okay. So very cool. Okay. Very cool sample. The producer's in the sleeve there. But
I like that he calls out your loyalties, because one of the things with loyalty,
what are you
just like honesty, when it's gone, it's gone. But what are you loyal to? Your money, your weed, your drink, your fame,
There it goes. Yeah, love song, but the message is still there.
Those are the top 4 he hits with, and he just keeps going down the list. Your girl, your family, your mom, does it end with your family and fame,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
where does it lie, really? Is what he wants. Is what he is asking himself.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing is like a reflection of he's just talking to himself, or to God, or to you, or it could be any one of those things. But if he's talking to himself, it's like,
you can take the lyrics as a good way to scan down for sure. Yeah.
And that does lead into the next one, Pride. I'll just say a couple more things, but about Pride and like just the, I blanked, but
No, I blanked on a couple of tracks too. I wrote that it was hard to admit to being humble, and this one is kind of like one of those underlying ones where he admits about being broken down by some of these real physical vices and stuff like that, whether it's what you're losing sight of something that you truly cherish for the chase of something else, or submission to a substance or anything like that. Yeah. Those are the things that he's definitely underlying this with, and it's not as on the nose as humble, sit down, be humble. That's really more what he's going. Yeah.
Are you talking about Pride or in Loyalty?
In Loyalty, he talks about that's how he ends it out is being humble. He starts leading into being humble, which I was like, I think the next track is Humble, and it wasn't. It was Pride. And I was like, oh damn, okay, I just got assumptive. Yeah.
No, it's a good. Obviously, the religious loyalty, the love. It's just a good mix. It's a good mix. It's a good blend. It takes a lot to as a songwriter to make something like that where you can put in so many messages underlying and just out there.
Yeah, and this being a more introspective,
get a bazillion plays.
Yeah, right. It's not just the club banger. It's not the, okay, I can write a story and I know what I would like to hear as a story, and how to do concepts of storytelling. This is more like, these are more personal, but they can evolve this into a story. Yeah, because Pride's the next one. 7, definitely.
So sad.
Hardest to swallow. Yeah, it's super sad. What did I write here?
He does the sweet effects on his voice where it goes up and down in pitch. Very cool.
Yeah. This one I kind of spaced on, because this one in Humble is kind of where I fall asleep on the album, because Like not because Humble I got like super overplayed on. I love the video. It was like
I don't know how you could even fall asleep.
You can't. It's such a banger, but it's just like almost a tune out because you heard it so much. You know what I mean? It's like working in a mechanic shop type of thing. So I kind of spaced on this. Pride. The only thing I really kind of clicked on was he kept saying, you know, the refrain on that, you know, was I there or wasn't there?
Yeah, maybe I wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't there. Yeah, so I've definitely had like, was that a real memory that I had? Was that a dream?
Yeah.
So I could relate to like that sliver of the song, but not a whole ton of it. You know, I kind of just didn't even listen a lot on that.
No, I mean this one is good. Apparently the lyrics were written by someone he worked with on Pimp a Butterfly and a couple of songs. Not
excellent.
Was it Annie Lennox or Stacey Lennox?
Stacey, that sounds right.
She wrote that, and he heard the lyrics, and he loved them so much that he wanted to use it. I mean, he says a couple things. He says I put my faith in these lyrics, but I probably won't come around, which is like a great double entendre, where he's literally putting his faith, like his Christian faith, into the lyrics. But he probably won't, like, the message of the album. Like, he wants to resist all temptation, but he doesn't because he's a millionaire, he's rich, he's got... how are you not going to be, like, about bitches and money and all that stuff when you're a rapper, even if you want to be the most conscious rapper, So he says, I probably won't come around. So it's like, you know, I put my faith in his lyrics. He won't come around as a good follower of Christ or whatever.
Sure.
But he puts his faith in lyrics, I probably won't come around. Like,
through Christianity.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of, like, self-doubt. Like, even if you're... You know, even if you claim on record that you're the best rapper, there's still somewhere in your mind where you're doubtful. Like, man, you put all your faith in these lyrics. What if you dropped a single and everyone the next day on the news is like, Kendrick flopped, like this and that. Like,
what do the numbers say?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of pride in there, but then there's a lot of fear that he's gonna not, you know, be like that, you know, forever. But
what do you got for
he says a lot of things about...
I ain't saying shit. Oh no, you're still on
pride, man. He talks so much on pride.
Break that shit down for me, man. Yeah.
He just says, like, in a perfect world, he'd be doing all of these things. Like, he lists off all these things. Like, he'd be doing those, but he knows that he's not like that. And it's just that, like, that's why I love this song so much, because he's like, in a perfect world, I would care. Like, I do care, but I don't share. So it's like the way he grew up and was raised is like he was raised to not share. Like, what's mine is mine, bitch. Like, get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have time for that stuff.
You have so little. Protect what you have.
But now that he's like worth, you know, whatever, $30 million or like however much he's worth, like he still like has a hard time sharing because of how he grew up and stuff. And it's just like, you know, he sees himself in like in a perfect world. I'd be this and that. Sees himself like on the other side, like being a very good Christian. Not he literally says like look up the lyrics yourself. I won't. But he says like I'd be going to work instead of fucking bitches. I'd be doing work at schools instead of something. Like he literally says like I could be doing this.
I could be moving the needle.
But do you really have time to do that?
I'm doing the Instagram posts and the I mean, like today. Hey, today we're recording this today. It is Saturday.
8:49.
That was the date.
Oh, it's June. Come on, man.
I've been in the basement for 3 months on quarantine.
I need to hit my phone for this. It's June 6th.
June 6th.
D-Day? It's D-Day.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. Right now in
not
Washington
the real D-Day for the protesters.
Is one of the largest protests. I don't know. Maybe it's going to break a whole bunch of numbers, but this is standing up for what's going on out there. Yeah. So, you know, this is not technically what this podcast is about, but when the message is in the music, by God, we definitely talk about it, you know, whether it's, you know.
It kind of ends.
Yeah, and it's
with that on.
It's the whole thing. It's spearheaded with obviously Black Lives Matter. You can hear the message, you know, from there. But it definitely is what's going on with this police brutality shit. It's gone on long enough. It's gone on too long. Enough is enough. Enough wasn't enough. It should have never been this much. Like what are we talking about? Not as enough is enough. Like geez, you know, slow things are happening, but you know, that's why I take a lot of learning and inspiration from music and from that because it's so timeless. It's a capsule of exactly when it was made. But I mean, the shit that we heard on here is like, Yeah, this was made yesterday or
related,
3 years ago.
I mean, he mentions Trump like once. Literally. He mentions the president a few times, and it's like
because this is 2017. So Trump was in office for what? Yeah, what did he come in November of 16? Is that how it works?
January 17.
Okay, so he wasn't there, but there was so much unrest in the country then. So yeah, it was obviously a hot topic. Everybody wanted to hear at least a little take on it. How you feel about it?
We talked about it off record, like he like All Right off Pimp a Butterfly and This Is America by Gambino. Like they're both huge streaming number boost
right now.
Because like these are the songs of the times.
Especially Gambino. This Is America. I mean the video, timeless classic art. The right message. Crazy.
We do whole episodes just on like those two songs.
Obviously, but so this is.
But Humble.
Hearing that Kendrick was one of the songs that was being pushed in the rally for sure. Like, All Right coming out and being played. So it was like one of the inspirations of like, let's do a Kendrick album. We don't have to dig in and lay another blanket on top of the already being said message right now that we agree with and that we're going with. Let's have fun. Let's go with this and then touch on it for sure. Definitely. Humble. You dig it on Humble because all I wrote for Humble was humble. That's all I fucking wrote. Yeah.
What do I know? Supposedly, when it came out at the time, it was like everyone was like, "This is a diss track to Big Sean," and all that stuff because of the "hold up, little bitch." Like those are ad libs that he uses and stuff. But I mean, I don't think so. He like a lot. It's not trademarked by Big Sean or whatever. But I don't think he never confirmed it and stuff. Of course, that was the time when like beef was desperately wanted in rap. Apparently, that's all. We needed to create fake tension and stuff. But
beef.
No, I mean, I think it's a whole. He said in an interview apparently that it's just a message to himself to literally sit down and be humble.
That's good though, because he does talk about some very personal things that you're like, is that a joke? Is that and it's like, no, it's my left stroke. It went,
Couple.
Was put up.
Was that literally like his left stroke, like golf stroke? And he went viral?
What?
I think he swung and then it went viral. Like it was a video of him like swinging playing golf.
I don't know if it was related to another time, but in itself, if you look at it from just the standpoint of the music video, the music video obviously went viral. It's a multi. So he's like, I'm obviously going to make a music video of this. I'm going to make a swing. I mean, dude's thinking, ahead of us.
Yeah, it's 40.
So he's like,
I'm confused.
Triple 40 AD. Yeah,
but just a big message on like. Himself, be humble, literally, and then also if you want
everybody else,
the psychological warfare, it could be a message to every rapper out there to watch out for Kendrick because obviously
sit down, be humble.
Kendrick's he's one of, if not the best rapper.
He's one of those
ever.
I put him in the same circle as the J. Cole, Kendrick.
I think he's like, J. Cole says a lot of good. J. Cole has really good political messages. We could have done KOD if we wanted to.
I have a J. Cole record, I have to get on the.
I'll get KOD. That's a favorite of mine. I'll bring it over.
I feel like I would just don't own one. I love the stuff. Yeah. Oh, speaking of favorites,
Lust is probably one of my favorite songs ever, just in general.
Really?
Yeah.
I wrote Perfect Day Off. Almost, because like
you bastard, you're feeding into it. This is exactly what the song is about.
Yeah, I know. What do you because like so many of those things are great. Some of it falls off for me where I'm like, wake up, watch a comedy,
shoot a gun out the window or something.
Well, that's where I was like, left turn. I'm not over here. I don't have a baby's mama. I'm not.
No, but what do you think for real? Because I used to like. When I got laid off at Quicken, I used to just ride around on my moped and just listen to this on repeat. Just Lust and Fear together on repeat.
This is his real self-admission. This is his Icarus. This is his flying too close to the sun, because it's like it's a rut you can easily get put into, and now he's so successful. What does he got to do? Nothing. He could do this song all the fucking time, and that's and like it's so self-aware, but man, it's like a good day off. That's why I wrote that. Like it's a good day off, but it's not a good lifestyle. So that's the lifestyle part of it because it's like the same 6 sentences over and over and over and over again. So
but
it's like,
there's a structure to it. I love it. This is why it's one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
First off, apparently there's a rapper Rat King. He's like a young.
Okay,
UK rapper.
Okay.
And the sample where the high pitched sample or whatever, like that's Rat King, and it's pretty cool. Like I watched a video a while ago when this came out where they, you know, called him and they're like, well, can we use this rap lyric in our sample? And he was like, wow, it's amazing. So it's so cool as like a 16, 17-year-old UK rapper to be like contacted by
Kendrick,
TDE and be like, yeah, you guys want to use my sample in the song? That's really, really cool. So Rat King, for just whatever, I haven't listened.
Shout out Rat King.
You're right. He probably come on the show.
Yeah, come on the show. Shout out Rat King. Yeah. What is that?
We can't take that.
Full size. Right? I'll do it. I don't care. Come on the show.
But no, that's cool that that's in there just for the production side. But I mean, this is like the structure goes. Because this is all me, by the way, just because I've heard this so many times. There's four structures.
This is music.
The beginning is like literally his literal lust. Because when he titles the songs, he wants to talk about what he thinks about them or whatever, like his perception of it is on each track. So his like look, his view on lust is like literally lust. His first thing is like literal lust. He's having sex. Like, let me put the head in. Yeah. I won't touch the cat. Yeah, like I don't know what head he's talking about. You know,
that is the one.
Yeah, like I don't want more than that. I'll respect the cat and stuff. And it's like,
just the tip. Come on.
Yeah, and he's like it's way too hot to simmer down. Might as well overheat. And it's like you're getting so like literally you get the lust is overcoming you, and like you can't obviously from a religious perspective, like you're not supposed to feel those or think those thoughts.
He is a religiously cornered kind of guy,
but he can't help it because he's
human.
Yeah, so
we all.
But that's the first part of it. That's just the intro. That's not even like the chorus. So the first verse is about the male, his image of like a male, whatever, in Compton, wherever you want to be, like me, you, it's perfect day off for you. So that's like it's everyone can resonate with it. So it's about wake up in the morning, think about money. That's a like a lust. That's like a vice. Yeah. Think of money. Kick your feet up. Be lazy. Roll some weed up. Yeah. Be lazy. The whole thing, and like I didn't honestly when I heard this now again, the end of it clicked with me. It's like. The whole song he's talking about. So first structure, the guy being lazy. Or the first verse. Second verse, the female perspective. Do your weave. Call up one of my favorite lines ever. Call up your man. Tell him he ain't shit. I want to call up somebody just tell him you're not shit. Yeah, just hang up. Fuck it.
Just the only way
that's part of my day.
I would do that too.
It's part of my perfect day. Yeah. So then her and
who would you call? Hold on. Who would you call? Who would you call and just tell you his shit? Anybody you could just call it. If you could contact them, fictional, non-fictional, whatever, just call them. You ain't
anybody
shit.
What do I get access, or would it have to be someone I actually could reach? Because if it's anybody in the world, obviously it's Donald Trump.
Okay, yeah, just out there, you ain't shit.
You know,
bring it down from the obvious. Just call somebody.
Really,
just be like, hey, you ain't shit. Maybe nothing that's socially impactful. Just goofy shit. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't have a.
You have no beef. You don't want to do any beef on anybody.
Say Dan Gilbert? I hate him too.
There you go. Hey.
Could I reach him?
You ain't shit. Yeah, take that, dude.
I don't know.
All right. I don't know.
But no, I mean the third verse is about him. So the first part is about him and the actual like sexual lesson. And the third one is his perfect day or his daily routine of vices.
Yeah.
And he says like he talks about being lazy. He says the manager's calling, the hotel lobby's calling. It's 11:30. I promised I'd wake up an hour early and I wouldn't do this again. But guess what? He's lazy. He succumbs to the drinking from the night before and all the vices, and he fails.
It's rough that.
Then he directly segues. This is why I didn't pick up, but now it's because everything's going on. Right after talking about being lazy and all that stuff, he segues into the election and talking about how like, oh shit, we all woke up. He literally says we woke up watching the news. We can't believe it. Like, because guess what? We're lazy and we didn't do anything. I'm one of those people.
Guess what's coming in November?
So it's cool. It's really cool.
Gonna be a fucking wave of lazy.
Yeah, not for me.
That's what I wrote. I wrote it started small, his own personal perspective. Then it smacked up to the whole world. I didn't even write the female one. I guess I just was kind of tuning out for some. But then I write to the whole world, and then how it's timeless again, always. If he's talking about this 2017 being lazy, like look around today. Where are we at?
We're still facing the consequences. These are the real consequences of being lazy back in 2016. We're having
the same conversation we've been listening to for a decade and not listening to it, not acting on it. So it's like, geez.
And then he mentions
lazy. It's right, it's lazy.
The other new thing I guess that popped out is that he mentions like lust and fear. He keeps saying like it goes off like maybe lately I've been lately this, lately that, lately this. Like lately he's been like in fear, and it's like lust turning into fear. I guess is like the perfect way to show everything that he mentioned. All the vices are only temporary. Like you could smoke as much weed as you want, you can play as much Madden as you want, do your weave as many days as you want, get your hair done, go to the salon when the world opens up again, as much as you want. But at the end of the day, it's going to turn into fear because you're going to realize that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
The void is still there. You didn't fill it with anything. You're going to be really afraid because
if you're doing the same thing over again, it's not filling that hole.
Which is why this is one of my favorite songs. It's so good.
It's such a good message. The way it's structured is really the way it's
and
supposed to be.
And not to mention the beat, like
literally
the boom, boom. Like I just really love the really closed hi-hats and all that shit. I don't know.
I got it on the phone.
It's on there, yeah.
Yeah. I have it still pulled up. This is Fear. So this one is
that was Lust, dude.
Oh, it's Alchemist, dude. I fucking love Alchemist.
Alchemist did Lust?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh no, Lust. I'm sorry. No, he did Fear. I'm stupid. Yeah, I looked at the wrong one.
Oh wow, Alchemist did Fear. That's awesome.
Oh, Bad Not Good, DJPre and Soundwave. I don't know Soundwave, but I know
Soundwave is part of TD.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not
Bad
super
Not Good is like the jazzy people who do a lot of hip hop collaborations, and then DJ of course.
Kate Trinata's on the vote. I love Kate Trinata. And every time I hear him, I'm like, oh man, who's this? I like him. Yeah.
Love, I'll let you. You're a big fan of this one.
This is the one, dude. This is the best song of the album, man. This is my favorite song. I told you, the Sucker for a Love song. This is it. This is like...
The podcast turmoil has started.
Yeah, right? There's other great songs, but I mean, there's a lot of songs that just put you places, put you in memories. This one, for me, specifically, it just sounded... It's so West Coast. I have such a vivid memory of driving down Pacific Coast Highway, down towards Big Sur, down from... Cupertino area, the San Francisco area. Only got to do it one time in my life, but like I hear this song, it puts me above the clouds, driving through the mountains. The sound is there. At the time, I was with somebody that was like super over the moon about, so like mad strong memories from that time. And it's just like this song, it puts me there. It's just so West Coast. It's a beat that's like. It floats. Everything floats over the lyrics. The lyrics are great, and they hoist that up. But man, this is of all, like, Humble's a banger. This is good, all that. This one floats. I love this song. I can't talk enough good things about this song.
I just put Gangster Love. That's about it.
Gangster Love. Hey,
Gangster Love.
I can talk as deep and as long as about a love song as you want, but this one I definitely just like. The sound of it is great. This is my favorite one. But I don't want to get too long in the tooth about what we got going on here. We're not breaking down every single album here.
Of course not.
Have you got anything really that stands out to you that's crazy?
Oh my God, these last ones?
Yeah.
X, Fear. Fear, just hands down, obviously Alchemist produced it, that's awesome, but Fear, the feeling, like you just mentioned, for Love, the feeling that I get from Fear just listening to it is like, just melts into the couch. Like, it's just so good. The bass line is amazing.
Yes.
I wrote so much on it, it's crazy, but I mean, just to summarize, of course, like, it's just all about, obviously he got U2 on there, U2.
Oh, he's on Fear?
U2 is all over the album. The people who are all anything airy, where it's like the band talking about America or God, that's them. Like, God damn you. That's all U2. That's or at least Bono, if not. But it is all of U2.
Yeah,
so because X is a song they did, and then they kind of like molded it into a song for Kendrick. Yeah. X goes along with like, what did they release back in the day? Like Something America. They released a new album and like.
That's like the big U2 song, yeah.
But no, the one that they put on everyone's iPhone.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen to it, but I know the album. It's like the guy holding the guy, and it's.
Yeah,
I didn't listen.
But like
to
they
it,
always have like they love America, but like obviously they hate what's going on with it now. So they're always very outspoken and stuff. But God bless you if she's good to you, all that stuff. Like it's just a great like, hey, like. God bless you if she's good to you, but if not, like, please take my hand. Would you help me understand? And then like cuts off, and it starts with the really heavy beat. Yeah. It's like exactly. It talks about and just the whole. Well, yeah, we can't skip this, of course, but like X is like, basically like he gets a call, and he's like he's getting a call from his friend who his son was murdered, and he goes, "Hey Kendrick, you're this great leader, whatever, powerful guy. Like, what would you do?" And thinking that like he said anointed, so like he's overcome like the struggles of the ghetto, like growing out of the hood and all that stuff. Like he's made it out, but he's still connecting all that stuff. Yeah, and he's like, "What would you do?" Well, no, he's just rapping. Like yesterday, I got a call from my dog, like 101, and he's like, "Said my son, like, what would you do?" Like He says, guess what? I'm gonna kill the shit out of him. He says, I'll kill him. I'll throw the blower in his lap. Like I'll put the pistol in the dude's lap and then go to the court and tell them I did it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You fucked with, and then he names a list.
And that's
like
a
my
true
niece, nephew,
raw
cousin,
evoked
uncle.
emotion. I mean, that goes across
that
the spectrum of humanity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in like the fucking, if you're overseas, if you're in the Middle East, if you're like, if somebody messes with, that's not like
your pride will overcome your logic, and you will do the thing that makes you feel pridefully right, whether it's aggressively striking back or whatever it is. Then to be, I'm right. And guess what? I'm so right in my mind that I'll just take, if it's a punishment, so the morality must be wrong, or ethically it must be wrong, but you're like, I'm right, so I'll take the punishment, so I'm doing it anyway.
He says, like, put the Bible down, go eye for eye.
Yeah.
If somebody fucks
with... You read my notes?
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a good line, you can never forget it. It's like, if somebody I know killed, then somebody getting killed. Like he's like, if somebody he knows is killed and he loves him, like somebody's gonna die for that. Like that's what it is on the streets in the West Coast. Like you kill somebody. If somebody in your gang dies, guess what? You're all loading up that night. Yeah. Allegedly, I don't know. Like I'm not gonna claim to know, but supposedly, like you get revenge. You go out and you fucking.
That's what you hear, and it's obviously comes from, a place of some truth, whether it's not the stark truth, it's obviously, but it's like,
it's just that struggle.
It's the human, I'm going to get what's mine because you got on me what's yours. That's, you don't get a cut from me.
His past.
Cut from me. Yeah.
His sinful life that he can't resist or avoid. Yeah, he's rich, he's famous now. He mentioned a few times, like obviously everyone talks about it. They got big houses now. Like they made it out. Like they don't live where they did anymore and stuff like that. But you can't like
always progression up.
Yeah, but you can never like. All it takes is like one call. If his friend called up and said like, "Hey, your cousin just got killed." Like, well, guess what? Like, and then he says like in a lot of the songs, he says
that's emotion that cuts through all of that
on DNA or like Humble or whatever.
All that fake shit.
Yeah, he says like. You thought I'm the same person you see on TV, huh? Yeah, Kendrick on TV, whatever. But it's like that's not who he is. I'm sure in reality, he will. You up.
If you want to peel back of the layers, there's a layer down there that's not good.
Or not let it slide.
I think every human has that. It's just how in control of that are you. That's a real human, real thing.
Yeah. When it cuts to the second half, when you two singing or Bono, it's beat switches, of course, it's awesome, but then he says, you overnight the big rifles, then tell Fox to be scared of us. That's awesome. Like, what kind of... You would only hear that in, like, some super conscious stuff, but it's, like... It's really cool. Like, they literally... That's something that, like, in one line, if I wanted to sit down and, like, I'm going to write a rap and be, like... It would end up sounding so dumb. It would be, like, a school essay, but it would have no rhyme or rhythm, but he says, you overnight big rifles and tell Fox to be scared of us. Yeah, it's just awesome. Like, that if you research that line, knowing nothing about it, you'd end up finding out that, like, okay, America sells guns to fucking cartel, to Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda was, like, our friend before they became the fucking enemy. Oh, like, what the fuck?
And then, we made them kind of thing.
You're literally shipping guns to the streets and then making it look like they're the ones who are doing it. When you put them in a position where they're impoverished their whole life and they have no choice. As a country
in general, and I know everyone likes their gun, and I'm not shitting on guns, but if a problem with this country is the amount of guns... We produce the amount we're the number one producer in the world of guns. I don't think that's an ignorant statement. I think it's a very accurate statement.
It's not. We're the number one owners of it.
Yeah, so obviously it's like
2-to-1 per capita or some shit.
When there was a heroin epidemic, we were making the heroin. You know what I mean? When there's
it all
an
turns out to
epidemic,
be the government did it for money.
We're our own worst enemy in this country.
It's really cool to see that being pointed out here so casually.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
And then he talks about. There's so much stuff. I don't know. Just like the whole media thing. He said, right after the rifle line, he's side by side, gangsters and terrorists, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Like, there's really, when you blend two groups together like that every night on the news, you show like the streets.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, you show like a black on black crime, which is like whatever it happens, and then you show the terrorists right afterwards. Like your brain's not going to be able to fucking tell the difference anymore. You're gonna it's just you see the enemy after a certain point.
Yeah, I think there's a big uprise of like seek it out yourself. If it's fed to you, you automatically think it's wrong.
Yeah. A lot of them.
If you showed it to me, I'm skeptical. Not you specifically, but just you. If you showed it to me and I didn't find it, I don't believe you. Let me figure it out. I think that's good. I think that's a good, wary attitude to have with so much being produced. That's, coming from biased opinions one way or another. So, now, one thing I did want to ask, on 12, that's the best the second best track where everybody beats everybody's ass. You're gonna get your ass beat because you get your ass beat. I mean, I said if you haven't had your ass beat by your parents, you're too young to listen to this podcast. So I think everybody somehow got their ass beat one way or the other. You got your ass beat. You had ass beat.
Not as much as you maybe, but yeah, belts and things were used. Obviously, Middle Eastern people love whoopings and stuff, but yeah, I've been like hit with a belt. My parents would like smack me and stuff like that. They wouldn't like beat my ass, but like they would do child hitting.
Child hitting.
Basic child hitting.
I remember when I was in like probably like 7th or 8th grade that that's when you learned like there was a case, some big case happened when Bill Clinton was in office. Mm-hmm. I don't remember it had something to do with him, but it was around that same time or something. And somebody got in trouble for child abuse. It was like a mom got in trouble, and maybe their kids got taken away. And so like, not that I was getting my ass beat, but like, I don't want to get any kind of pain, so I'm a little bitch. I'm just like, that child abuse, it was the buzzword of the time. Like, oh, that must be child abuse. You hit me. So, but no, I think this is, even though getting your ass beat is definitely the focus of this song in a lot of the opening way. I think part of that is good. A little smack upside the back of the head. Not some permanent damage. I'm not fucking abusing anybody. It'll be insane. But like a SWAT or whatever. Whatever. Yeah, but I can relate to that,
And it's all stuff that's like, and there's no question that it's all like parenting stuff. It's not his dad. It's his cousin that he's talking about. I believe it might even be like the Carl Duckworth, his cousin.
Yes,
because he says, "I'll beat your ass if you go and tell your dad." Whatever. So like it's not his dad. That is
it's specifically
Kendrick is rapping,
mom,
talking to young Kendrick, because that's what this song is like. I think Carl Duckworth or his cousin talking to young Kendrick. Okay. So he's like, "I'll beat your ass if you if you tell them social workers you live here."
And stuff. Hey, I'll beat your ass if you do that. Yeah.
If you don't, if the pizza's still there and not eating, like fuck, you got pizza and you're poor, you better eat all that shit. I'll beat your ass if I beat your ass and you still here. Like that's the one that you love, because it's like fuck, like how much more authoritarian can you get? Like he's gonna whoop your ass, and then just for not leaving, he's gonna whoop your ass again.
And if you're still here, I'll fucking do it again.
He said, "I'll beat your ass if I find you hanging out with the girl down the corner and shit." Like, just all these things. Like, and it shows like as a kid, what was he doing as a kid? Like, I'm just saying this right now. It's a revelation.
He's talking about.
He's the vices and the temptations. Like since he was a kid, he was doing it, and it's not God who was
the fear.
It was his dad. His dad was God when he was dad. His
punishment at arm's
guardian.
length.
Yeah. That was who he feared. That was his God when he was growing up.
Obviously,
which goes along with the whole. He wanted to show you like. Really, like God is like Puritan style God. Like he will smite the fuck out of you. Like be afraid of him, not the loving and all that stuff.
So a smack from your dad doesn't feel just as bad as I could be smited. Yeah, I could be lightning stroke off the off the face of the earth.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. Like smoking away your fear.
Yeah,
just talks a lot about like not spending his money recklessly. I'm sure that's like true to an extent, but he's like 30-something million or like 1 million. 30 shows, $1 million per month, I still won't buy a Lexus. Like, because you have a healthy fear of like maybe losing it all and stuff like that. So
this has one of the most vulgar inspirational lines. Life's a bitch, pull their panties to the side.
That's
it's so vulgar. But
I would argue it was a direct homage to Lil Wayne's great lines back in the day.
Absolutely.
He's many times talked about pulling panties to the side. But yeah, this is another great line about with these 14 tracks laid out over wax. It's perfect for the show. We can even just I'll fix that into one of our intros or something.
We listen to it on wax.
Little snippet, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll have to isolate some of these things. Yeah.
But it's cool. He's talking about you're what's another fear of everybody's, which the RX thing touches on last time. Like everyone's afraid of dying. Guess what?
Yeah. And Duckworth goes in again, man. Yeah. This is another deep Duckworth cut. It's like, how is Duckworth not the muse, man? I didn't hear any. Did he reference his daughter at all? I don't see his daughter bars in here.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. So he's like, afraid of leaving the earth and not having anything to show for it. So these 14 tracks laid out over wax. That's his thing.
What is what was 13? That's not Triple X, is it?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
What's 13?
The second to last one, 13 would be God.
Okay, so
God was okay. I just put this is another flex song, but still has a message.
It's a flex song, but this is the song that I think that the beat can be totally switched with Humble because of the words.
Really?
Humble should be this beat because it's such a downplayed beat.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? And this is like, what would God feel like? That would be more of like the Humble, you know, of that, you know, and whereas like Humble's like, bang, it's such a braggadocious beat, bang, bang, ha, it's almost like a house banger. But you're supposed to be humble, whereas this one, I feel like God would be the one where you're like, I feel like a god or something, you know. You know, if it was a Kanye song, oh my god, braggedy god, da da da, yeah. That would be the whole song, dude. Yeah. But so I felt like this one, I was like, it's such a slow song, speaking about the heights that he's reached and even the heights that he's envisioned as by other people, not necessarily himself, but it's so slow and so calming, and it's so airy. It's a humble beat. Like it's just such braggadocious, but almost self-aware and high words, because he does express he's a god, regardless whether you express it slowly. Yeah,
that's
or
what God feel like.
That's braggadocious.
Through his status and level of money and all that stuff. Like this is what God feels like. God was all knowing, all powerful. Everything, like nothing could touch him, and like when you're Kendrick and you think you're the best and you are the best, like nothing can touch you. Like, you're number one. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, laughing to the bank, like aha, it's cool. Little double entendres, like you know, it's just it's cool. The very airy, like literally they use pads, like airy pads, just to make it feel like, to me, like I feel like he's in the clouds, like literally laughing to the bank, but he's in the clouds going there. So like it's just whatever. But it is like that whole like I am God, or not literally, but very divine feeling beat.
It's just it is an airy divine beat, and I feel like that is good with the title God, but I just felt like for the feeling that it was, because it is almost a humble song about being godlike, you know, like or
having
how
the same
people
qualities
see you
while
godlike.
being like an earthly figure.
Exactly. So it is almost a humble song with it being like a semi-brag. So I don't know. I like that one. Last one I just wrote.
This one's very important.
Yeah, you're gonna be way more important than me. I just wrote beginning and end. I don't know what the fuck that even means. Whole album. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I just wrote Duckworth and Ducky a lot of times. One of the things he says at the end is he really emphasizes like the power of it's the like the power of choice when he talks about, you know, the skit that he talks about, you know, with the whole closing out. I gave him the extra chicken, he spared my life and nobody else's type of thing. He equates that to the decision and specifically the soul. And I think that is like the soul being the main word of the whole album. You can plug literally every track list into that word. Soul. You got soul, you got triple X, fear, lust, you know, like that's that. So I was like, that he didn't say it at many other places. If anywhere else, I didn't hear the word soul or anything like that. But then when he hit it on there, I was like, that's the definition. When you're what's a soul?
Yeah,
you know. I mean,
what is?
Here's a whole album about it.
What I know from when this came out, and I was looking it up and stuff, because his name is Kendrick Duckworth, so like it's his last name. So I figured it had to be really important. It turns out like it's his origin stories apparently. So in the beginning, he's talking about Anthony Griffith, which is Top Dog, which is the leader of TDE, the president. This dude, whatever he did, then he got into a beef with somebody who turned out to be Kenny Duckworth, like Kendrick Lamar's dad, and then like instead of beefing, because they were on opposite sides, I believe, like Blood and Crip or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure they were enemies, at least supposedly. They didn't know each other, but like
could have been a personal
supposed
thing,
beef. It was supposed to be a personal thing. Then he like went up to the place where he worked. His dad worked at like a fried chicken place or whatever, and he like started. They made friends. He was like, "Oh shit, I like you." Like it wasn't like that, and then like he would come through and he started giving him free chicken and free food.
It's the Snoop Dogg Dr. Dre, man.
Yeah, and it's like instead of
red and blue. It's like, man, no, we got.
And he's literally saying like instead of that, like you said, that decision for them to not one person not kill the other, which is what it should be. Like that's how it is in reality. That's what happens. It didn't happen, and then that spot. He was like, "What are the chances?" Like you, all I can say is go listen. And I'm not gonna. Like is it coincidence?
Did you say fate? Is it coincidence?
It was like pure coincidence, or like, but a lot of the stuff, like what you say, probably coincidence and fate. That like. You know, all that stuff happened, but it's just really cool. So that's like his Marvel origin story song.
Yeah, this is really the like ties it together. And the thing about this album, I don't have the version in particular, but they make another record of this where it's just is it damn greatest hits or is it damn director's cut? Oh, hit it! Oh, you got to turn the slider on.
No.
Yeah, you got this.
Let them know.
Hot from the boom.
Crazy information.
The other version of this, the damn collector's edition, or the greatest hits, it's the album just played backwards. It's nothing insane, but it is.
But when but when you play, supposedly you play it back to front.
Oh, it
from
changes.
Duckworth to Blood. It still makes sense as a story, and supposedly that's the original way that he wanted it to be.
Oh, and that's the bomb. There it is. That's the bomb. Okay, I didn't know that one.
But no, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. You can. So the deluxe is already resorted for you.
I love albums that can do that, and that's just that's the icing on top.
Which is cool. So then it reverses. Album. It becomes the end. The last song is the first song, which is where he was born. Yeah. And then Blood is he's like, I was talking to a blind lady, blah blah blah, which I still am figuring out, but that's like a super religious, like, to me it's interpreted as like,
is like something in mythology that goes,
but it's like someone who's like a menace, like something that's evil, but you get it mistaken for
who guards the river Styx? Isn't that a blind?
It is.
Thing?
Well, that's
a blind person, a blind something.
It's a one-eyed ghost.
Oh, is it one-eyed? Okay, so I only kind of know it, but I was like, maybe it's semi-Greek.
It is something like that, but like it's like you. Like, hey, like you get distracted by this like thing or whatever. I think it's just the concept of the whole ghetto hood crime, like all that shit, all the vices, everything, anything that could like potentially kill you or whatever. But he's like, hey, he sees, she goes over to her and then pooh, gunshot. So it's funny because that's how it starts. But when you listen, like he's born. He goes through all these things, and then I was talking to a blind lady, and then so the album ends with him getting killed. So,
well, I like it this way. I like it this way where it's origin story at the end. So then you're just like,
it gives
that's
you
actually the beginning of the story. So I'm glad I don't listen to it the other way. So fuck that other version.
I still haven't. I should probably, but
yeah. Anything else on this album? That was a good episode. I think we can just wrap this up as it is.
We'll
definitely
get another
episode out when we want to. We're just kind of doing it at our own pace right now. Yeah.
Don't listen to this. Listen to the album.
Listen to
the album, then this.
Damn.
Listen to this, then
Kendrick
the album,
Lamar.
and keep what we said in mind.
Yeah.
Either way,
let us know what you think. Anybody out there? We're open to feedback.
Awesome.
Anything else? You want to play us out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey. Yeah.